So I have a confession to Mike right here and right now. I'm a huge Zomboy fan. Like, I've always been into dubstep. I've always liked it. Of course, I had my times in which I used to go into another kind of music. But any time I had like this special taste that involved me and only me, because you know, when you're a child, you're listening to the music your mother listens to, or your dad, or whatever. But the first style that was exclusively mine was dubstep. And I've always been really huge into the scene because of how cinematic it is. But there's a little something about Zomboy that made him my favorite producer for years. And of course, it's difficult to say that someone's your favorite producer because there are so many talented people out there and everyone's good for something. As I was mentioning before, you have that sick wobbles, and right now I'm gonna be discussing what I feel like makes Zomboy special, because, well, I am kind of biased in that sense because I've always been really into zombies. Everything related to zombies, from movies to music to video games. My favorite movies are those about zombies. Most of them, like for example, I actually like other movies aside from the zombie genre, but you get what I'm saying. I can mention 28 Weeks, 28 Days, Shaun of the Dead. Those are classics. Those are really good. And of course, I'm not freaking 40. I'm not gonna be talking about the original Dawn of the Dead or George A. Romero. Come on, man. Dude. I wasn't even alive right then, but I'm actually gonna be talking about like Shaun of the Dead. That was a parody, but it was really well done. Train to Busan, and there's so many other classics. And in video games, I'm really a huge fan of Resident Evil, the original ones, and also Black Ops Zombies. You know, those are classics. And to be honest, I was really into them more because it was about zombies than because it was a good game, because of course it was a good game. It's so fun, and I still play it every now and then, but you know what I'm saying, they're zombies. For some reason I've always found so enticing the idea of a zombie outbreak or of having to survive. You know, when you think about it, it's kind of nuts, you know? Who would ever want something like that? It's outright psychopathic, you know, but you know what I'm saying. It made my childhood, and I remember I used to read books while listening to Zomboy, and it made everything feel like a movie. It was so amazing. I remember I was reading this book about an outbreak, and I would play Zomboy. I would have Zomboy blasting on my cheap, like, $5 speakers you would buy out on the streets, you know. But anyways, it was so epic because there was an outbreak and I was reading about it and I was listening to Zomboy, and then boom, 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 boom. And you know, what I really like about Zomboy, besides its emphasis on zombies, you know, it's like, yeah, his name actually comes from Left 4 Dead, I think. Yeah, that's what I remember I heard before. Yeah, it's pretty dope, but also Left 4 Dead is kind of cool. I like it. I'm derailing right now. What I feel makes Zomboy so special is his ambience. You know, everything surrounding his music, his sound is so epic, so good. So right now, over the years, of course, I feel like Zomboy had lost his mojo. You know what I'm saying? He is not delivering his tracks are not delivering as much as they used to. And this is coming from a huge Zomboy fan, so this is not against Zomboy per se. It's like, dude, it's making me so sad that I'm not enjoying your music as much as I used to. And why is it? But you know what? I committed the worst mistake a dubstep enjoyer. Yeah, because we are dubstep enjoyers, right? A dubstep enjoyer can do, and it's to jump straight to the drop. Never do that! The build-up, the intro, the pre-drop, the everything, the melody, they're the composition of the mood. And in this kind of music, the mood is everything about this song. So if you're not in the mood that the producer wants you to be, you're not gonna feel the drop, and regardless of how good it might be. And I get used to it because, you know, over the years, I already got really good on discerning which style and which mood the producer wanted me to be in. But in this case, yeah, it's only for experienced players, you know. And I was not experienced in the newest Zomboy because, you know, I can go into Datsik and listen to his newest track and just skip right to the drop, and I'm still gonna enjoy it. The same with, I don't know, Virtual Riot or Phase One or Oliver's. You know, some people, it works, but with Zomboy, who is so cinematic, it doesn't, because you lose everything surrounding the drop. And if you can get anything about this video, please don't ever skip to the drop. Listen to the whole song, and that's actually what happened to me with Sudden Death's Void Volume 2, which we're also gonna review because that's bonkers. But anyways, as I was saying, throughout the years, I felt like Zomboy was becoming yet another Excision knockoff, you know, with those generic drops that are only serviceable for live drop, you know, when they're playing live in sets, and they're only serviceable over there. And, you know, I kind of like Excision because you gotta like those Space Laser samples and Downlink being in their production, and that's it. Yeah, you know, Excision is never producing himself, but even though some people say it's debunked, just listen to them. It's not that hard. But whenever I listen to Excision, I get this feeling like it's only made for live. You know, even the vocals and that crap. Even though I said on my Datsik video that I really like the vocals and that they are always talking about the ninja and samurai and that crap, over there they are kind of underground. Well, not underground, because that's a completely different term. Sorry, I screwed up. I was trying to say that it's kind of on the background, because it's not bothering. However, on Excision, it's like, power up the bass cannon, and that's the old song, you know. Everything's revolving around that, and it gets boring. Of course, if he's gonna play it live, you're gonna lose it. You're gonna lose it completely. You're gonna enjoy it, but, you know, listening to it on your house, it's not gonna have the same effect. And with Zomboy, it's kind of happening the same to me, as in the sense that when he dropped Dead Man Walking and I saw the teaser, I was so excited. I said, oh man, Zomboy is coming back. But then I listened to the song, which came a year ago or so. Well, time flies. It's actually 8 months ago. But, you know, it feels like it was yesterday. And I said, oh man, this isn't the Zomboy I like. You know, I'm sorry, man. And I never heard it again. I never gave it another chance until I got to see him live. And oh man, he played the entire track, and his whole set was so cinematic. The ambience of everything was so over the top, was so freaking great, that I fell in love with this craft. With just, we're gonna have to listen to them, because even though I experienced that, like watching him live and watching the energy, I made a recap of his live set, so you should go watch it, because in there you'll see Zomboy like he's playing, and he's survival of the fucking and he's hyping it up, and he's so freaking dope. I'm getting excited. I actually cried. I actually cried when I went to see him live, and he played like a boob, and it was an edit. It was a live edit, and it was it was like something different, because you had to be there to feel the same. But oh man, it was something really special for me. But anyways, now getting back into where I'm gonna try to give it like another perspective, another take on this amazing EP. Don't get me wrong, these are top production, But you know, in dubstep lately, it's been like everything is the like top quality production wise, but not in the same way as it used to be. Because have you listened to Skrillex's new album? He's a musical genius, but his tracks are boring as frick. He might as well have been producing elevator music. Yeah, I absolutely love his album and everything it stands for and its production quality and, you know, but I wouldn't listen to it like old Skrillex, you know. He lost his mojo and he's trying new things and it's alright. I'm not hating on him. I'm gonna cite it. I actually loved his album, as I said, and Hydrate, it's on another level, in part because of Peekaboo, but, you know. Anyways, I've already spent 11 minutes talking about nonsense, so let's get straight into Zomboy Deadman Walking EP, which contains 4 tracks, Deadman Walking, Flatlined with Micah Martin, which we're gonna get into that in a bit. With Must Die, he made Last One Standing, and Desperado, which is amazing. I don't even know why when I'm speaking in English and I'm saying Spanish words, I kinda fake the accent, you know? Like right now when I said Desperado instead of saying Desperado. You know, it's kind of weird, but let's take that in mind. Oh crap. Oh man, you gotta love how it starts, and I gotta change that because I'm always saying you gotta love. Okay man, I'm already in love. Can you change the word? Can you change the wording? Choose some other thing to say, and I'm gonna try. It's just that I want to keep it family friendly, and most of this slang is, you know, YouTube doesn't like it. And YouTube is not gonna like me going through Zomboy's whole EP, so this is gonna be censored, like, to the death. But let's get into it anyways. I absolutely like it. Boom! And if you've seen this live, you know this. It's like boom, and fire and everything, and oh. But actually, yeah, go listen to it. These videos are not for you to get a snip to the track. It's not for you to get a taste, to take a grasp of what the track is about. This is my opinion, and this is my favorite parts, segments of the drop, and this is to create a discussion with people who like dubstep. But you should definitely, after every video I release that you see, you should definitely go to listen to the whole song by yourself and just listen to it, because everything I review here, I would never review anything I don't like, because this is about passion. This is about things you love. Let's get into it. So ooh, that cowboys, it's bum bum bum. You gotta love, oh man, and there it is again, that you gotta love. Oh man, you have to respect. Yeah, that doesn't make sense. I absolutely adore how it's so cinematic, and the ambience of Zomboy, like it's like a lone wolf, like a cowboy in a deserted city. This feels like it's been the outbreak, and it's been so many years after it, and the city's just a mess, and Zomboy's a lone survivor and he's coming back, but it's got this Middle East, this old West sound, and it's the cowboy team, and it's amazing. Just yo man, this is so epic, and I really love it. But let's get straight to the lyrics. Well, to the vocals. Like, I absolutely hate. Yeah, this is permitted because I'm not saying love. You know, I absolutely hate when these producers, so this everything are faking their voice to sound so deep and so like metal, and it's kind of cringe, to be honest. Like. They're doing that, and it's not good. Why are you still doing it? Anyways, in this place, I keep saying that I don't like something, but in this example, I absolutely love it because it's not overdone, and you gotta listen to it. It's just... It helps to set the mood. It's nothing good, it's nothing bad. And it doesn't overstay its welcome because... Don't you let me to rest, you can't let me to rest. This is survival of the freaking best. Survival of the freaking best. Can't you hear the voices talking? Don't you see I'm a dead man walking? And that's where you lost me! Because we were going so great to build up on the survival of the freaking best. Survival, it's just the team is so amazing, it's so well done. But then you get to the drop and it's just yet another Excision knockoff, which of course I'm gonna show you a very good example of a heavy drop like this one. Well, you get what I'm saying, which is actually made absolutely well. And I'm gonna get that as a bonus clip from this video. But, you know, in this part, this drop, it's like... It's the same thing that I've been saying about Excision. It's absolutely bonkers when you feel it live, but right here it's just... Yeah, man. It's the same 3 seconds on loop for over a minute. Which, don't get me wrong, I absolutely love this one. I love the screech of... And then you get to this. Yeah, and then what Zomboy does really well is this transition between the first and the second drop. And I actually gonna go... Oh man, those boom 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 boom. It's amazing. It's an amazing little detail that makes it from 7 out of 10 to an 8 maybe. Yeah, I would give Dead Man Walking 7.5 overall. Yeah, and it's a really high grade because, well, you're gonna be saying me, you're gonna be telling me, hey man, you gave outright straight 10s and 11s to that 6 new album. Yeah, man, that's coming back after 5 years. Of course, it's gonna be 5. It's gonna be 10s, over 10s, and straight 10s and straight. But in here, it's a very good grade. It's a 7.5 out of 10, which I think is pretty solid. You know, it's pretty good. Yeah, man. For those of you guys at college, you're gonna know that 7.5 out of 10. It's something to be grateful about. Yeah, that dum 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 dum. And my favorite part, I'm gonna get into it right now. As you guys know, I love fake out drops, and I love when it's like building up, and dum 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 dum, boom, and it comes back with a punch. You know that from my That's It review, but let's get into it anyways. Can you hear the voices talking? Can you see him a dead man walking? Oh! And the third and last drop, it's outright doing the same thing over and over again, which... Go listen to the song, man. What are you doing here still? What are you doing here? Go listen to the song, to the full track. It's really good. But, of course, I've got to state the obvious. The obvious is that... Hey, man, you're kind of lacking of the drop department, which is what's making this track go from a 10 to a 7.5, because the ambience, the intro, the build-up, the transition to the second drop, which I'm not gonna get into because this is really heavily copyrighted, and I'm trying to use as little as I can from these tracks. But anyways, what I'm saying right here is that this track is outright pretty good, but the drop is lacking, man. It's like this. Of course, the difference between this one and an Excision drop is that in Excision it would be like drop and it's whoop, and that's whoop. It's gonna be looped over and over again. It's whoop, 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 and with heavy bass on the background, which makes you kind of forget about how generic it actually is. But in this case, it's whoop, and it's looped whoop, but then Zomboy drops these little details, which makes it differ from that generic, from being absolutely generic, which is also kind of generic, if I'm being honest, but it's not absolutely generic, because with Zomboy it would be something like this. Boom, dum 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 dum, boom, bum 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 dum, boom. You know, it's the same. It's looping it, but adding stuff from the background, which makes the difference, you know. It's those little details, as I always say. Anyways, let's get to the next one. Flatlined with Micah Martin. I absolutely have mixed feelings on this one. It's a mixed bag again, because I have nothing against Micah Martin. I'm sure he's a really talented artist and his voice is gifted. Just listen to my voice. It sounds as if I'm a 12-year-old, you know. I can't be saying anything about voices. Who am I to say something like that, you know? But what I'm saying is that I've never heard a track featuring Micah Martin, which actually sounded good, like a good inclusion of Micah Martin. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, I've heard him with Phase One also, which I actually love some songs that he's got with Phase One, which you gotta respect this guy is delivering, but not for me, man. Your music, I feel like it's got potential in another genre, because it never mixes well whenever I listen to him on featurettes. However, on Flatlined, yeah, the intro is bad. The intro is bad. There's no other way around it. Zomboy and its melody, melody. Did you see what I made there? Did you see what I did there? Because Zomboy is Joshua Melody, so I'm saying Zomboy's melody. Yeah, that was a really bad joke, but anyway, Zomboy's melody on the background, it's really good. However, it's ruined by Micah Martin, which again, I have nothing but respect for this talented artist, but it doesn't fit into this track at all. Falling out of touch. Yeah, that's pretty good. Save me, I'm falling out of touch, which it might have been unintentional, but I feel like it's what has been going on with Zomboy throughout this time. He feels like he's been falling out of touch, which it's kind of true, but let's not be so harsh on the freaking Godfather of dubstep, you know? So anyways, this way. Yeah, the lyrics are pretty good, but the vocals, I'm not really into them. I'm sorry, man. Yeah. There it is. This. It's you need to listen carefully to that screech in the background. It's like someone is it's trying to start a car, you know, a car engine, and it's like they're and it's just looping in the background. Why do you have to do this? I've heard this on so many Excision tracks that I've been bored to death with that concept, and it's not even good. It's generic, and it takes the sound like 2 points less on the graph. So this this song, I'm not gonna be soft on it. It's a 6. It's outright a 6. There's not much things to say about it. Yeah, this one, this part right here, I absolutely adore it. That's the only saving grace for this track. The melody on the background and this. It's just too groovy, man. I love it. I love it. But anyways, again, the vocals. What can I tell you? I freaking hate that screech going on loop on the background. Why are people even doing it? I don't get it. But the last drop is pretty good. The build up and everything about this last segment of the song. Shut up, man. Shut up, man. He said it. It's freaking Zomboy. Man, it takes me back to the Terror Squad days, and that should make this song an absolute 10 out of 10. You know, being realistic, it's just a nice touch. It's still a 6. That womp womp. You get what I'm saying? Zomboy can still produce good music. It's just that he's stuck trying to, I don't know if it's imitating or going with the trend, because ever since Zomboy switched to rhythm, it's not being it's never been the same since Zomboy switched to rhythm. And you know, the outro is, again, the lyrics, it's pretty good. And yeah, this whole EP was released on Zomboy's newest label. Yeah, it's what was it again? It's Rock and Roll Records, I think. I'm sorry, man. I have to. Yeah, Rock and Roll Records. I'm sorry. I feel like this is the only release they have yet, so it's huge, and let's give it a shot, right? I mean, there were people giving a shot to Subsidia with its... Oh man, you gotta remember when Excision attempted to initiate this whole Subsidia thing, and he dropped like 200 releases, which all of them felt like just one track. And even if you're considering all of them to be one track, that track sounded exactly like every other track Excision has been delivering for the last 2 years of that at that time. You know, it was freaking garbage. You know, everything from Subsidia, like the first releases, I've never listened to Subsidia again because of that. I don't think I will, unless, you know, someone tells me specifically 1 or 2 songs which are kind of good, because I listened to the whole compilation. I went through it entirely, and it had this dusk, dawn, and it was a nice concept. And dropping 200 songs, it was huge. But it under-delivered when every song sounded the same as the last one. Yeah, no. What are you doing, man? And yeah, not at all. Yo, even Bear Grylls sounded like Excision. How, man? You've got amazing and really talented producers in there. Wooly, Dillon, Bear Grylls, and they all sounded like Excision. How or why? Was it on the deadline? Was Excision and the community guidelines saying, hey man, if you want to release on my label, you have to sound exactly like me. Hey, here, take some Spice Laces samples. Get to work. Was that what happened behind the scenes? Because, oh man, it was terrible. But anyways, my favorite track. If I gave the last one a 6 and that one Walking is 7.5, I'm willing to give this one maybe even a 9. Yeah, that's how good it actually is. We're talking about Zomboy and Must Die, Last One Standing. Yeah, I don't really like Must Die that much. He outright blocked me on Twitter without... I haven't even mentioned him, but he saw that I was following Datsik and he blocked me. Yeah, Must Die is really into politics, which I kinda hate when that gets into music, and I gotta remember myself to shut up because, you know, we're here for the music, and I absolutely love Must Die as a music producer. So let's get back to it, and yeah, my bad. Stop talking about controversy and getting political in here, because we are here to discuss about dubstep and things we like, right? So forget about it. You know, the lyrics in here are really good, and the vocals too. They fit. Even though I don't like this style of vocals, they fit. So last one standing goes down. This one is what I would absolutely adore to listen completely without interruptions, but once again, that's what you should be doing, not me. What I really like about this song is that its drop is unique, it's different, and it's not looping over and over again. It doesn't feel like an Excision knockoff. Yo, it feels like a drill in your head, and that sounds terrifying, but I'm saying it in the best way possible. I was having so much fun with that drop that I left it entirely uncut. So I think that like that speaks volumes and how much I absolutely adore this track. It's an outright 9 out of 10. I'm not changing that grade. Not even because I actually don't dig that much the lyrics at the beginning. They're absolutely fire, don't get me wrong, but that style, I've never been that huge into it, but it's Zomboy, man. The last one standing. Yo, that's my favorite thing about Zomboy, how melodic he can be sometimes, without him sounding like NCS music, you know, like no copyright sounds. Like you got this Alan Walker and this producers, mainstream producers, because they're generic but not in an Excision generic way. They're generic in a mainstream way, you know. They're still pretty good, but you know, whenever Virtual Riot goes melodic, I feel like it's in the verge of sounding like NCS. And of course, Virtual Riot has so much talent and his production quality is over the top. It's... Yo, man, he's crazy. So it would be insulting to even compare him to NCS music, but I hope that I'm getting my point across. His music starts to sound like NCS in a way, but here with Zomboy, whenever he goes into melodic, it's good. It's actually good, and it's actually its own thing. Just listen to this. It's only helping to the ambience, which is what melodic should be, because we got people like Chime, who again, when they get to melodic, they're just like aqua bass, color. Yeah, it's color based, but they also have this term for like something aqua related. I don't know. I can't remember it, but you know what I'm saying. It gets extremely generic pretty fast. So. Absolute banger of a song. Yeah. And then this transition is everything good about Zomboy. And let's get entirely through it. Yeah, I love the build up. It's pretty good. I don't know, like, for all these years listening to Zomboy, I might be wrong, but I feel like the drop is kinda made by Must Die, and Zomboy took the melodic aspects of the drop, but Must Die was also involved in the melodic aspects of the build-up, because Must Die is also kinda into melodic in a good way. But, listening to this one, I have to say that I would go with Zomboy being on the melodic drop that we were discussing a while ago. I might be wrong, but that's my guess. Yo, I feel like that has to be Must Die, That has to be him. But you can't do it like... Again, it's drilling into your brain in the best way possible, right? Yeah, that drill has to be Must Die. There's no other way around it. And there it is. There you have Zomboy. Yo, man, I love when Zomboy and Must Die get together. They get the best out of them. Revival is from another album that I think was kind of mid in Zomboy standards, But Revival was absolutely dope, and then Survivors is outright one of my favorite tracks from Zomboy. So, yeah, Zomboy and Must Die are, they were made for each other, So, anyways, this piano at the end, everything about this song is absolutely, oh man, perfect. This is perfection. And now let's get to Desperado, which is one of my favorite tracks on this album. I would give it an 8. My top would be Last One Standing with Must Die, which we just went through, which is a 9 out of 10. Then Desperado with an 8 out of 10. Then Dead Man Walking, 7.5, and finally Flatlined with Micah Martin, which it fell flat, 6 out of 10, That's how it was. So overall, I would say this whole summer release would be 7.8, 8 out of 10, which is absolutely bonkers and are pretty decent grade for an EP. Not, am I saying it was the best EP released last year? Not even close. Was it the best EP from Zomboy? Man, miles from being true. But it's pretty good. It's pretty decent. And let's get to this one, because after this one, I'm gonna tell you, overall, the whole review, the whole reaction, I've been kind of negative in a way that I've been liking the tracks, but I've been saying, yeah, I like them, but this is not what Zomboy used to be. And I used to believe that Zomboy has lost its mojo. It has lost it entirely. I was wrong. And I'm gonna show you why. Like, the best example of Zomboy being great with this style, and it's a new release. I'm gonna go through 2 of them, but the second one was, well, the first one that I'm gonna go through was kind of mid in a way. Not mid, but, you know, it was almost there. Anyways, I'm derailing. I'm sorry, I'm really prone to derailing and going off the tangent when I'm talking. Let's get to Desperado, a bass house by Zomboy, and it's really good. The whole vibe of the song is da-da-dum, da-da-dum, da-dum, dum, dum. It's a fun track, and you guys know what how I feel about fun tracks. Always a dead man, bro. It has this blah, 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 blah on the background looping, but you know, when it's done right, it's admittable. Yeah, you know, you can do it when it's done right. And the old drop goes a little bit like that. You get the idea. It's pretty good. It doesn't have to change. Not every track has to be groundbreaking and, oh man, a lesson in sound design. If it's fun and it's serviceable, you get a good track. And that's everything you should worry about. Anyways, let's go to my favorite part. You definitely need to go through these tracks entirely because they're so worth your time. Yeah, man. This right here is what made me wet my pants when I first heard it. It took me back to those good old golden Zomboy years. Who else is getting airborne vibes right here? Yeah, it's really good. And then back to the fun.
Who are the
and here, this fake out. It's just such a fun track. And you know, when a track is delivering a fake out before the drop, or this sensation that I talked about before, like it's loading and it's boom, 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 boom. Yeah, you know, you got me right then and there. Yeah, I'm gonna give it like 2 points extra just for that. So anyways, this is Zomboy's Desperado. Desperado by Zomboy, which is absolutely amazing, an 8 out of 10. I already went through the rankings, but this was Deadman Walking Part 1 for you. It was absolutely amazing, and I loved it. Yeah, it has its lows, as every production ever has, and I wouldn't say it's a masterpiece, I wouldn't say it's even close, but for a Zomboy production, I loved it. Anyways, I promised you that I would go through a Zomboy track, which was kind of good. And it's not a track by Zomboy, it's a remix. It's a remix of Dillon, Francis, and Illenium. I love when Zomboy remixes something. You know, it's gonna be great. Like Follow Me, you know, the Ghost by Delta Heavy, Don't Let Me Go in this case, which we're gonna get into because it's a really mixed bag, but not in like it's good and bad at the same time. It's like its highs are absolutely high, but its lows, yeah, they're absolutely low. So, yeah, it's a mixed bag in that sense. But here's what I'm kinda rescuing from Zomboy's new style that we're gonna get into in a moment. Where we belong, when we were young, it's also amazing. So, you know, when Zomboy is remixing something, when you read Zomboy remix, you know it's gonna be a banger, right? Let's go for it.
1 a.m. I'm nauseous. Maybe it's the wine.
I know that the lyrics have nothing to do with Zomboy, and it's from the original track, but I absolutely love them. They are so... How can you say it? I almost never like lyrics on my dubstep. You know, I like it to be fun and get to the happy part, but in here...
And I know that you are with your friends.
And I'm at here mine.
Are we being honest when we
Say that we are fine.
Maybe I should call you.
Ask you about your night, but then again you haven't bothered. So maybe why should I? You know, it lands. It absolutely lands, and these lyrics are absolutely done perfect. Down to perfection with... Yeah, they fit so well this style that Zomboy was delivering in this track.
Are we being honest when we
Say that we are fine. Lately I've been feeling like we haven't been talking. Moment we stayed up until morning. Be something. Don't only let go. We have so much more. And then, after all this build-up, after all this emotion, Zomboy just let it go absolutely raw. It's just pure madness, pure energy, pure rage. To make it out again. Like, the overall lyrics are talking about someone in a relationship, which, you know, it's kinda ending, you know, like, you know, there's nothing keeping you together anymore, and it's over. You know it's over, but you're trying to fool yourself that it's already there, and if you ever get that feeling, it's absolutely gut-wrecking. And here, without the warning, without anything, like 2 seconds after the lyrics have stopped.
Switch.
It feels like letting it out, you know. If you ever cried, every human has, you know, it's like you're letting it grow inside you, and you're letting the feelings get into you. And you're like, man, it's growing inside of you, and then all of a sudden it just bursts. It just burst. If you ever felt like you couldn't cry, you know, there's no point in forcing it. It's if you are gonna cry, you cry, and that's it. And it's sudden, you know? Just like this one. But what I do believe it's the best thing is this. Yo, listen to this one. Boom, 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 boom. And this laugh on the background. And then it's fucking... Yo, I'm sorry for that when I accidentally hit the mic, but... Oh god, is this good? And then it falls flat because Zomboy literally did the definition of Ctrl-C, Ctrl-V with the first drop, well, the first part of the song, just... Dude, this track would have been an overall 9 out of 10 because, you know, the drop could have been different and it's kind of generic, but it's different, you know? You can feel it, which is what I absolutely adore about this track. You can absolutely feel the emotions bursting. Oh man. It's a good example, not the best. We're gonna get through the best one in a second, but this track, if this track was like 2 minutes long, yeah, absolute banger. Just paste the outro right there. Which there's no outro. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. But yes. You see, it's the same, and you know, I know, Zomboy, you made an absolute banger of this first drop, but 2 times, yeah, that's a little bit too much. But before we get into my favorite example of Zomboy's new style being actually good and not being flawed, because as I said before, I used to believe that Zomboy's new style was fundamentally broken and there was no way to make a good track that sounded like straight, that make you feel like the old ones used to. I was convinced of that, but I was wrong, and I was absolutely wrong. But before we get into that, I wanted to show you some examples of old Zomboy, and these are my top 5 recommendations. Recommendations, not my favorite. Well, maybe Deadweight is absolutely my favorite because... And then... Here we go now! Yeah, I love Deadweight. You have to give it a listen. Yo, absolutely 11 out of 10, Deadweight. So go check it out. The same with Bad Intentions, just... Yeah, as you're noticing, I'm skipping through time periods. Like, Deadweight was from the Dead Symphonic, and this one is from Reanimated. But I'm not saying like Brain Dead is not as good. You should only listen to Bad Intentions or Hoe It Down. Yeah, absolute pass. No. I'm just giving you... I just wanted to give you examples of that time period. Of course, that I'm gonna go through Immunity. Which, yeah, I feel like it's my favorite track of the bunch, but that doesn't mean that Skull and Bones or any other track on this album is not good. I just wanted to like... take the essence of Zomboy throughout that time period and give it to you, show it to you, and then you can go make yourself comfortable with this one, and maybe you'll find more, because with Zomboy, that's how it is. Every track is worth your time. So, Immunity. The drop is amazing, but the intro... Da-da-da-da-da. And then... this one. This build-up, I still can't get over it. You know, I just got a little revelation. In 30 years I'll probably still be here. You know the drill. I'm not gonna spoil it for you, and of course you have already listened to it, but let's get to Resurrected, man. You gotta listen to this one. Everything from the intro. And Zomboy is actually working on the BIP, so... yeah, man, I'm so excited for that. I actually got to listen to that one live, and it was amazing. And I actually absolutely adore these art, which, for those of you who didn't notice, like, yo, it's amazing. Yeah, you have to love it, right? It's real good. Like, it's like this hand coming out of the grave, and it's zombies and praise and If you think that I was a fangirl to that sick, you should see me with Zomboy. I genuinely cried when I saw him live. Yeah, it's I have that problem. I tend to fangirl over stuff, so I'm too emotional. I'm too passionate about the things I like. Da-da-da-da-dum, and then dun dun. And then this like snippet, like this sample, this audio, I think it was from a zombie movie, but an old one, like Dawn of the Dead, something like that. I actually forgot to tell you, Dawn of the Dead 2004 by Zack Snyder is actually really good. I was looking in the comments to see if someone had actually said where the sample was taken from, but it has been said the persons who have recently died have been returning to life and committing acts of murder. A widespread investigation. It's
have been
iconic.
To life.
And then you gotta listen to Resurrected if you haven't. Which, why would you skip Resurrected, man? And the outro, and then, if you're listening, even if I'm 5 years from now, I don't want to be a zombie. It's iconic. And what? Man? The drops, the first and the second drop are not entirely the same? What? You're telling me you can actually improve? You can actually deliver something different for the second drop? Oh my god! Oh man, I didn't think it was possible. I have listened to all of Excisioni's discography and I've never heard about this weird concept. You can have a unique second drop? Oh man. Yeah, it's Resurrected for you. It's amazing. And then Lights Out. This is what I would define as Neon Grave as a whole. And of course, then you have Rock and Roll era, but yeah, man. I chose 5 of the most significant ones. Dun 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 dun. It's really good. Yeah, that one right there was amazing. And of course, that I'm not saying Get With The Program is not an amazing track as well, but I wanted to share with you tracks that are, you know, not as popular, because I could have come here with like a B or Terror Squad or I don't know, so many tracks that are like iconic if you ever heard about Zomboy, you know. But I wanted to show you some tracks that if you're not really into Zomboy, you may have missed. So yeah, this one's pretty good. Go check it out. So what? Yeah, it's amazing. But anyways, this video is getting an hour long. So let's get to the point. This right here is what I absolutely and firmly believe to be Zomboy's new style at its best. And granted, you got Nightmare on there too, but yeah, I'm actually gonna ignore that it's a collab, and I'm gonna give the credit to Zomboy, because I love Nightmare too, but this is a video appreciating Zomboy. So I'm gonna say that I not accidentally, but I actually slept on this track when it came out. I committed the mistake that you should never do if you like dubstep, and I went straight to the drop and just listen. Yeah, I was like, oh man, oh no, not again this. Why Zomboy? Why do you have to inspire us to take inspiration from Excisionification, man. Why? He's like... Yeah. I was like so disappointed that I never gave it a chance ever again until Zomboy played it. I saw him playing it live, and dude, it was like I missed the mood, which is why I told you this is the cardinal sin of EDM right here. And I'm not selling you a course. I'm not freaking Deadmau5. This is the cardinal sin of EDM, dubstep more specifically, right here. You have to listen to the whole song. If you're skipping to the drop, and on a track you haven't heard before, you know, because if you're skipping right to the drop, you're a freaking loser. You know nothing about dubstep. Just leave it like that. You should listen to the whole song so you can get the mood that the producer wants you to be. In this case, this was a mistake that I've come to regret now, because this song is absolutely amazing. Listen to it. This video got too long for it to sound good, so I'm just gonna listen to this song entirely, and I'll be leaving my opinion here and there. It's deeper than I ever did. And here, once again, the lyrics and the vocals and the singer is delivering. To every face, so show me what I'm looking at. Once again, it's emotional. You can hear the pain in her voice. You can hear the pain in the lyrics, in her voice, in her delivery, in the melody of the background. You can hear the pain and how it's building up, and it's... You kind of get how she's holding her cry. She's holding them tears. And she's holding the tears. And then, this drop, which sounded so generic at first, takes a completely different meaning when you get the context of the pain of everything, and it's just so raw. It's just delivering like this punches, and it's... Oh man, this is a masterclass in production. I'm not a professional in this sense, in this regard, but I would say this is a masterclass in how to master these heavy drops. You taste a little sweeter when you and that melody in the background. Everything about this song is top notch, top tier. Further than we've ever been. These scars, they always stay and always pull us back again. It's like a gunshot. Blood runs wild when my head's held high. Did you hear my heart drop? I know you did, but you kept your pride. Do you have any idea? Do you have the slightest idea of how much it hurts when someone could have acted different, but they kept their pride? Do you have any idea? It's gut-wrenching. And then, the second drop is nothing like the first one. Oh! You guys know. Okay, I'm gonna let it end. I'm gonna let this song be over. And then the outro is... It doesn't have to say anything. It's just so emotional. So it's a painful ride. And it's delivering. It's... You can feel the emotions bursting. Like, of course, when I got... Oh man, new Virtual Riot. Oh, that's good. But... And also Rocket Launch intro, which I think it's been an ID for a while. Yeah, I might give it a shot in a while, but you guys know how much I love my fake outs in the drops, so you know, when they are loading the punch and then punching, you guys know how much I love them, so you might as well think that this was my favorite drop, and you'd be wrong, because this, guys, for the mood that the song is setting up to have, the second drop is raw, and it feels like, as I said before, when you cry, it's sudden. You know, somehow the emotions burst, and there's no way to control that, and it feels like here, as I said, when someone behaves in a way because they had to keep the pride, or they couldn't they couldn't get over their pride. It's so gut-wrenching, because you know there could have been so much more. It could have been so different, and yet they took their pride, which is kind of the lyrics. So when you are in that mood, when you're listening to that, and then you're I know you did, but you kept, bum, 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 bum. And it's just outright a clash of emotions. It's amazing, man. I absolutely adore this track, and I wouldn't change my opinion. This is a 10 out of 10 in regards to Zomboy being great in his new style. Because I know there's Nightmare, but this is basically what Zomboy sounds nowadays. So even if it had Nightmare's influence in there, you know, it's like a good track. You know, it's Zomboy. It is its essence. It's right there. It's Zomboy. And yeah, of course, maybe it sounds so good because Nightmare made some changes, or Nightmare had some things to say and made the track even better. But of course, I'm not saying that Nightmare had nothing to do. But what I'm saying is that here you can listen to Zomboy's style, new style that I saw for so many time. I thought that it was fundamentally broken and it was flawed at its core, and there was no way to make it sound good. And yet here I am, being surprised in a good way with an absolutely amazing track that you should give it a shot, that you should listen. Go give it a listen. Oh man, I've been talking about Zomboy for so long, and yeah, I have to leave, guys. I hope you enjoyed this video. Bye.